We are live. Welcome back to my live channel. Got another beat critique for today. Do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. And this is twice in a row that we've actually connected completely smoothly. So I think I finally got the hang of going live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Let me just go ahead and set this up right here. And as you can see, people have been submitting beats within my Discord server. So that's pretty much the way that we're going to be doing it from here on out. It seems to be the easiest way to quickly get beats sent in and not have any trouble with Gmail or anything like that. So I leave the link of the Discord in the description of my live YouTube channel. So you can click in there and submit your beats in this beat critique section of my Discord. Let's see. Let me make sure this is actually where we left off. Yes, I believe so. Glasses are kind of foggy right now. Hold on. I usually start this off by playing a track and waiting for people to come in. So I'm going to play the track that we ended the last beat critique on, which was from Simo. And we'll just listen to this until we get a few more people in here, and then we'll start the critiques. And I also missed a message on Instagram. Actually, this was from Simo. He recently got a new piece of hardware, an analog exciter. It looks like he sent me a picture of it. And I guess he's using it on his guitar. He asked, am I supposed to connect the output from my interface into the exciter? No, it's the other way around. Well, actually it depends. And then the exciter to the input of my interface, so I can put effects. For example, an 808. Yeah, that's how you would do it. That's one way that you could do it. But yeah, just connect your interface into your exciter and then have the exciter go back into the interface. And then you should be set. What's up to Kid? And let me bring up my chat so I could actually read everything that everyone's saying. Actually, I need to bring up the chat on my screen as well. Let's see here. There we go. Then we got another Monster Productions in here. Definitely check out his channel. He also does FL Studio tutorials. And he's heavy into sound design. So definitely check him out. Alright, we'll get into the first track here in a second. I'm going to play one more before we get started. And and that will be from... I'm going to play one from Raphael. This is actually the second beat that he's ever made, believe it or not. If I could find it. Here's the first one. Here you go. This is Raphael from Brazil. He also left a... let me actually show you on the screen here. Here in the tips and tricks section... Oh, well, that ended the song. But here in the tips and tricks section, he listed off how he levels out his beats. Took a look at it, and it's definitely a pretty good guideline. So you guys can check that out if you're having trouble leveling your beats. Of course, it's going to depend on the track, but this is just a good ballpark just to get you guys started. And also here in the self-promo tab, Simo released a free kit for you guys, and I checked it out last night. It sounds pretty good, so definitely download that whenever you get a chance. He's really good at his basses and kicks. But let me go back to that track and play that while we wait for a few more people to hop in here. Where was that track? Looks like people are creeping in. Yeah, by the time this track's over, we can get this started. There's beat one again. There we go. Yeah, what really impressed me about this track is the composition and the mixing. But he's kind of like me, where he actually learned to play piano before he ever started making beats, so that's where the composition comes from. In terms of mixing, that's just crazy skill for this being his second beat. There's just so many tutorials out nowadays. When I first started, YouTube didn't even exist, so I feel like nowadays you could get pretty good pretty fast with things like mixing and sound selection, sound design, just from YouTube videos. Alright, let's go ahead and get the critique started. Looks like we got one additional submission, a couple extra submissions there. This first one's from Makaso. I'm not sure if he is in here yet or not, but he submitted pretty early, 1 a.m. Thank you for the critique on my last beat. Here's a new one, Ballin. And just so that you guys know, here in Discord, you can only upload 8 megabytes or less when you're uploading MP3s. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you'll have to submit like a YouTube link, SoundCloud link, Google Drive, Dropbox. I like the sound selection here. Good composition. I like the vocals coming in. Yeah, sounds clean. The bass is kind of low, but I think for this track, that actually works. Let me take a listen on my earbuds and see if I could clearly hear that bass. That's one way that I like to check things. Love the synth bass that just came in. That sounds nice and clean. Yeah, I can definitely hear that synth bass in these earbuds. Yeah, and there's enough presence in the 808 as well, so you're good to go on that. Yeah, this is a nice chill track. I like it a lot. I would say one thing about the bells that are playing, it is getting a little repetitive, but you do have enough change-ups in the other instruments, but having that bell play throughout the entire track, maybe drop it out here or there. And maybe you did, maybe I wasn't paying attention. Let me go back a little bit. Yeah, it's consistently through the entire track. Yeah, that's one thing that I try to do. I try my best not to have a sound that plays throughout the entire track the entire time. I try to find a section here or there where I can drop it out just to change things up. But you do have plenty of change-ups in the track, so it still works. Mr. the Big. Okay, so you're Mikaso. Cool, cool. Yeah, no problem. That was a great track, though. I liked it a lot. This next one is from DJ Alan T. This is a re-upload. Needed it a little louder. Let's go to a SoundCloud. It's called Monster in My Closet.
Beats on the track.
I have a feeling this is going to loop just by looking at the waveform. There's like a weird click with the snare. Let me go back. Yeah, what is that sound right here? Yeah, it's like a weird percussive element that kind of stands out. It doesn't sound like it belongs in the track. I like the idea of the distortion on the sample here, but it's a little too distorted, a little too crunchy, I feel like, for how everything else sounds in the track.
Beats on the track.
Yeah, it's almost sounds like a sputter, or like almost like someone spitting. Yeah, whatever that weird percussive element that keeps coming in, I would just take that out for sure. It doesn't sound like it's very important to the track. Yeah, other than that, I would just say back down on the distortion a little bit on your instruments. It sounds like everything has a little bit of saturation distortion on it, but it's a little too crunchy for the track, I feel like. But let's see, the name track is Monster in My Closet. Yeah, overall, I get that you're going for that grimy feel, which is cool, but I feel like it's just a little overdone, because you still get that grimy feel from the 808 that you chose. That 808 is perfect for this track. Yeah, and you said that you re-uploaded it because you needed it a little louder. Yeah, I wouldn't go any louder than that. It's definitely pretty loud. Let's go to the next one. Harsh, Satsangi, Blackjack. And let's take a listen to this.
Urge on the beat.
Usual chop snare. I like the percussion. It's a very dark track, not a lot of high-end elements other than the hi-hat. But it's definitely a vibe, so. So you have a lot of legato type elements, like, what's the word that I'm really looking for? Like there aren't any instruments that are plucky, or like you don't have any keys really. Everything's really sustained in the track in terms of the sound selection. Okay, I do hear a piano in the background now. I would say turn that piano up, because other than that piano, it sounds like a lot of the other instruments are more sustained. Okay, I could definitely hear that piano on the right side now. Yeah, that piano sounds nice. It would be nice to have that a little higher in the mix for sure, just to add more contrast to the other instruments with all the sustain going on. All right, let's go to this next one. Actually, let me check something else. Yeah, that's a really heavy kick. But I do like it. But for some people, it might be a little too heavy. Next track, Influences. Unmixed, unarranged, just wanted to post. Let's go to their SoundCloud. Oh, this is Zenshin. Zen, are you in here? I know you messaged me earlier on Instagram saying that you'd be in. Oh no, that was someone else actually. No, that was multiple people. You were one of them. Okay. Let's check this out. Electronic. And I can definitely tell it's a Friday. Not too many people in here this time. It's an interesting rhythm for sure. I like the Foley percussion with the sounds like glass bowls or porcelain bowls being hit. I'll switch up with the drums. It's nice. That's really nice right there. These arps. drop effect. It's definitely a different vibe. Has that Asian feel with the sound selection for sure. And even the way the ARP is moving, I feel like it has a heavy Asian influence. I can't name that scale off the top of my head. And what's really interesting, you have this Asian vibe going on, but the hi-hat is very boom bap-ish with the swing that you have on it. I like that contrast. Those little bowl hits, they sound a little detuned, like they're kind of out of key. Yes, we are still accepting submissions. You can submit with the Discord link down at the bottom in the description of... Sorry about that. Down at the bottom of the YouTube video. So I can tell that this probably wasn't mastered. That's why we have a lot of the sounds way down here, but you can see the drums are poking out quite a bit on single hits. So just a little saturation, some slight compression, a little bit of limiting will make that a little more solid. But overall, I like the vibe and the feel and how different that track is. Kid. Oh, let me exit out of here too. Well, actually, let me leave those up because we might explore some more tracks from each of these. Yeah, I feel like the overall track just needs a little EQ in terms of instrument separation. But other than that, yeah, just a very different, out there track. Let me see what's going on in here. How much time am I going to be streaming? I'm not home right now. Let's see. Been on for a half hour already. Cerizin says, you accept trap beats? I accept any music at all. You can submit anything you'd like. How long am I going to be in here? I don't know. Probably not too long, just because there weren't a lot of submissions this time. It being a Friday, I feel like people are out and about. All right, back to the critiques. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm here. I'm here live. Let's see. Let's go to DJ Allen's SoundCloud page. Check out another one of his tracks. Okay, so he goes by 150 Beats. I remember that. Yeah, this is the track he submitted last week. Let's try and find a different one. Oh, that's it. That is it. So let's go to Zen. I know he has a few tracks that I haven't heard, I don't think. He only has one track on here. Okay. that being said, I'm going to play one track from... Okay, here we go. From Sapphire. Sapphire is Ceresin. Is that you? So we have a couple tracks. Andre Beats and Sapphire. Teeth at 140 BPM. Sounds really low in volume. And I have my volume cranked pretty high right now.
What is it, Sapphire?
Ceresin says, yeah, that's me. Where are you from? Love the composition. That flute or whatever instrument that is, that's fire. I feel like the drums are a little low. You're from Finland? That's cool. Yeah, your instruments are loud compared to your drums. So I would switch those around, turn the instruments down, and have the drums up louder. Yeah, this has good composition to it for sure. I like the arrangement. Definitely like the instrumentation. What's up, Crafty? Yeah, I really love the humanization on that flute. If that's a flute. I feel like it's a different type of instrument. I don't think it's exactly a flute. Sounds like something from the Himalayas or something. Crafty says, this beat's sounding fire. I agree. And Sapphire says, I wanted the beat to be melody driven. And the sample is from Andre Beats. Thank him. Yeah, that's something that I used to do when I first started producing, because I started out on piano before I made beats, and that always made my beats a lot more melody driven, but my drums always sucked and suffered from that. So it took me a while to learn to balance the two for sure. And this next track is called Who's Weiler? No. It's called Drop Top. And it's by Who's Weiler and Sapphire.
What is it, Sapphire?
And just a little over a week away, I'll have my official drum kit dropping. And also I will be live on both of my YouTube channels. So Sapphire, I'm assuming that this melody is by Who's Weiler. And then you did the drums. If that was the case on the last one. Another fire flute-like instrument with a lot of humanization on it. Oh, that is just so fire right there. Crafty says, looking forward to the drum kit. How much will it be? The drum kit will be pretty cheap for you guys. the listing price will be 30 bucks. So it'll be 30 bucks for everyone else, but for anyone that is in my live beat critiques, you guys will get that half off. So every time I go live, I'll have a discount code that you guys can use, and that'll get you guys the kit for 15 bucks. And usually I'm streaming live for about an hour to 2 hours. So yeah, basically every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll have a sale that goes on for 1 or 2 hours where you guys can get the kit for half off. But that'll be only for you guys. Everyone else will be paying full price, 30 bucks. And then I'm probably going to do something where you guys can get the kit even cheaper, or especially if, hey, that beat was fire, by the way. Okay, yeah, Sapphire says that's correct in terms of who made the drums and who did the melodies. That's awesome. Yeah, that beat was fire. Do you do a lot of collabs with, it seems like you do a lot of collabs with a lot of different producers. Is that something that you do pretty often? Yeah, definitely send something where you made the melody. I'm curious. Crafty says, nice, you gonna showcase the drum kit in the live when it drops? I guess. Maybe I'll do that. I have to think about it, because I don't know if I want to make a video for it or if I just want to do it during a live, because I don't want to take up any of your time in terms of getting your beats critiqued, which is another point that I was going to make. Hey, what's up, Kenny? Kenny is, if you guys could see him in the chat, Kenny is, yeah, you guys can see him on my screen. He's one of the rappers / producers that I grew up with. Funny story, I remember when we all first started making beats on FL Studio, he made this one beat called I'm a Rider, and I was like, what the hell did you do to that track? Because it was so fire. And he was like, oh, I added effects. And I was like, what? Like, that's how bad I was at FL Studio. Like, I didn't know about reverb or EQ or chorus or anything. I was like, man, it just sounds so professional, so spacious. But yeah, that's how I found out about using effects in FL Studio. Because we would just grab the stock sounds, play them as is, and that would be the beat. Like, no mixing, nothing. Sapphire says, yeah, I'm trying to get connections all around the world. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same. So far, just within these live chats, we got Brazil in here, we have Finland in here, we have Mexico in here. Got people all over the planet. And that's with under 10 viewers on these live chats. It's crazy. Yeah, let me go ahead and run that back, because he just got in here, Kenny. And that'll give me some time to finish saying what I was saying. When I start the live critiques on my other channel, I have a strong feeling that, you know, like, we're usually able to go through all these critiques no problem. But yeah, I'm a Writer definitely still goes hard for sure. But yeah, when I go live on the other channel, I know that we're probably going to have to do some sort of skip the line type thing. And I think anyone that donates to skip the line, I'll give them a discount for the kit, or depending on how much the skip a line ends up being, I might just give out the kit. But yeah, I'll think about it. It all just depends. We're just gonna play it by ear. But either way, you guys will definitely have an advantage in terms of getting the kit. Crafty says, don't forget about me. I'm from the UK. Yeah, UK is definitely in the house. They're my second largest viewers, right behind the US. It's US, then the UK, then India, then Canada, Germany. I think it's exactly in that order. Sapphire says he asked me to do a singing type beat. So you're the one singing in this next track that we're about to play. Cool, cool. I'm just gonna let this ride out a little longer and then we'll go to this next track. How are things down in Florida, Kenny? Still getting snow up here in Michigan. Yup. All right, next track. And we have some vocals on this one, so this should be interesting. And he said he did the melodies too, so let me turn this up. Yeah, I figured things are pretty nice down there in Florida. You have this nice rhythm going on in the background from, I don't know what that is, but it's going. I like that. Those bells need to drop out here. Yeah, hopefully those bells aren't playing through the whole thing. And again, they're a little loud compared to the drums. Nice. Kenny says he's freestyling right now in his head. Yeah, Kenny used to go by the name Special K. He had some killer flows for sure. Bobby Bob, you can go down into the description of my YouTube, and there's a link for my Discord server. Just hop in there, and then you can add beats to this beat critique section. Should only take like 10 seconds for you to sign up. It's just your name, your username, and email. And then just drag an MP3 in here. As long as the MP3 is less than 8 megabytes. Otherwise, you can use SoundCloud links, Dropbox, YouTube links. Samson, welcome back. Yeah, feel free to drop anything you like in the critique. Okay, Sapphire, you know exactly what I'm talking about then, yeah. Because it's definitely a perk that's doing that rhythm. I like it. Oh, I totally read your message wrong. I thought you said you're singing on it. You said you're not singing on it. My bad. He just asked you to do a singing type beat. I gotcha. I gotcha. All right, this next one is from Sacred. Let's go ahead and go to SoundCloud. Sacred is Samson, I believe. Yes. This track is phenomenal. Ooh, that kick is really, really low. That kick definitely needs to hit a lot harder. Especially with how loud that snare is, for sure. Sapphire said he learned that percussion trick from Simon Servita. He used it in one of his vids. Cool. Yeah, that's one of the rare quality YouTube channels out here for FL Studio music production, for sure. Seems like a really busy guy nowadays, though. It only took him a year to get 250,000 subs, and then I don't know if he even makes videos anymore. I'm sure he does, but definitely not as often as when he first started. Yeah, just turn that kick up and you'll be good. Maybe even switch out the kick altogether. But I'm not sure what that kick would sound like at a higher volume. I like the strings, but I feel like they need to be EQ'd just a little bit. Like they need a little more air. Maybe take out some of the low end or some of the mids, and it'll make it sound a little brighter. But I like the composition. Have I listened to Kyle Beats' podcast? It's the most motivating stuff out there. Yeah, I've listened to all of them, I believe. And speaking of Simon Servita, he was actually on there as well. There's only two good podcasts out there. I don't even know if Kyle is doing those podcasts anymore. I think he is. Excuse me. I know he made a YouTube channel for a video version of his podcast, which was really dope, but he's only posted like a handful of videos on there. He hasn't been consistent with it. Crafty says, I think this could do with more layering of the drums. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And Samson says, I went for one of those more melodic ones, not usually my style. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of melodic elements. They all fit together. But when you have that many instruments, yeah, just a little more EQ for sure, so that they all have their own space. But I like the track. Wiggly sounds, yeah. The other podcast that I watch is Producer Grind. It's one of the better podcasts for sure. I've been watching Producer Grind. They call themselves Producer Grind 2.0 now, but I remember watching them when they're just Producer Grind 1.0, and they didn't even have a studio. It was just Dylan on a mic interviewing one other guy. But now they have a whole setup. It's pretty dope. Cool. Yeah, just work on the drums on that one, and then add a little EQ, brighten up those strings, and then make sure that each of those sounds have their own pocket. You did a good job with the panning because it seems like each of those instruments are in a different place in the stereo field. So that helps with not having to do a lot of EQ. But one thing that I would recommend, if you are going to go back to this track and work on the EQ, definitely turn the track to mono, because having the panning that you already have on it, that's going to throw off your EQ decisions in terms of how clean you really could get it. But if you throw it in mono and EQ from there, you'll make much better decisions in terms of adding a lot more clarity to that track for sure. All right, this next one, Fisher. Oh, okay. This must be, let's see, AUD. That's, is that Finnish? Or is that Australian currency? Not sure what AUD is. I forget. And you're probably not even talking about currency right there. I would appreciate your critique on this one, bro. No problem, Nadir. Let me turn up the volume. I feel like a lot of I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like a lot of these tracks are really, really low in volume. I'm usually not needing to crank up my volume this much. Just replying to some YouTube comments. This, I feel like, with the previous beats, some of the previous beats anyway, I was saying how the melodies were too loud and the drums were too low. Here I feel like the drums are at a good level, but the melodies need to come up a little bit. This sound that just came in, this sounds like it's at a good level, but the other sounds are a little too low. It sounds like you have halftime going on with this new melody that came in. It sounds nice. But yeah, the melodies definitely need to come up, especially when that halftime sound drops out. You could definitely hear a huge discrepancy right there. Yeah, I used to do a lot of fade-ins and fade-outs on my beats too. I still do fade-outs, but I'm getting more into TV, film, and video game production. And they actually kind of require you to have what's called a sting at the end. So you have to have like a definite ending. So I've been trying to not fade out my tracks anymore. And fade-ins, I've stopped doing that way before I stopped doing the fade-outs. Just because like you can lose someone's interest with long fade-ins for sure. And like, you know, like I was saying, it kind of throws off how loud the track is going to be, so you have people adjusting their volumes. I think that's why fade-ins and fade-outs aren't as popular anymore. Fade-outs are still pretty popular, but fade-ins aren't as popular. In fact, a big trend that's been going on with BeatStars, you'll notice that a lot of the top-selling tracks are tracks that have the drums come in almost immediately. Like, I know a habit of mine was to wait 4, maybe even 8 bars before the drums fully come in, but I've definitely heard a lot of tracks at the top of the charts where that kick is playing right away. Sapphire says that's why it might seem low in volume at first. Yeah, for sure. Z Beats, hey. That was nowhere Australian. Oh yeah, you're talking about the language there. Yeah, just a random guess. Well, I know the language wasn't Australian. I was thinking about AUD. Let's see, what is AUD currency? I'm kind of researching trading as well. Yeah, it's Australian currency. That's the only reason I know that. But I'm getting into day trading, just a little side hustle for myself. That way, I have another source of income and something to invest my money in from my music. AUD is audio. That makes sense. Sapphire says, I promise the last one. No, you can submit as many as you like. Like I said, when we start going live on the other channel in a couple weeks, that might not be possible. But for now, definitely take advantage of, only being one of 10 that's in the chat. I like the vibe of this one. Big old bass. I like the bass. Hoping for a change up right here. There we go. I might have been thrown off because I was replying to a comment too, so I might not have been counting correctly in terms of the number of bars. That was a nice drop. Yeah, I like the overall arrangement and the composition. I just feel like that guitar plays just loops a little too much. Even with the filtered out sections. I feel like we need another sound or another instrument to alternate between the two. But in terms of, you said it was supposed to go to an artist named Nagi. I know some artists don't like a lot of different switch ups in a beat. And it's good to keep in mind that's kind of how a lot of hip hop was back in the day. It's just, 8-bar loops. And then you would have the artist or the rapper do all the change-ups just with their flows and vocals, so it just lets the artist be more of the highlight of the track. So that could definitely work depending on the artist for sure. Okay, this next one is from another Monster Productions. This is the guy that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. He also has a YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. He does a lot of FL Studio tutorials and sound design, which is something that I recommend everybody learn at least a little bit of, just so that you have the option to go out and make your own sounds and find another way to be a little more unique. But let's go ahead and take a listen to this SoundCloud track. It says drums might be a little loud for your taste. I doubt it.
Monster music.
Really nice synth bass down there. No, these are great levels right here. So you guys hear how the drums are peeking out over the melodies. That's typically what you want to go for. That way, if you do have an artist on your track, it's a lot easier for them to lay their vocals down. If you have these really loud melodies, which, again, if your track is meant to be melody driven and it's not meant to have an artist on it, I totally get it. But if you're looking for an artist to be on your track, these are the type of levels that you should be looking for. And his name's David, by the way. David says, Another Monster Productions, his name is David. Says, ironically, I played guitar in this one, so not a whole lot of sound design. But you still have a lot of transitions going on, so that's pretty cool. What kind of guitar do you have? You probably have a few guitars, I'm guessing. Saucy, what's up? And yes, you can definitely post a Google Drive link in the Discord. Sapphire says, you want me to send a rap song of mine? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would love to critique songs as well. Yeah, really clean mix, hard-hitting drums. I mean, with hip-hop tracks, I mean, in general, like just music nowadays, you want the drums to really drive the track. Another Monster says he did make the bass from scratch. Yeah, that's dope. You used to play a lot of metal? That's dope. That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people are digging the track for sure. I'd say it's the best mixed track that we've heard. Yeah, I was actually about to ask that, David, about the drums. So he sound designed some of the drums as well. That's actually what I've been doing all afternoon, all morning, is working on my kit. Like, I finished it a little while ago, but I went back and today I've been fine-tuning some of the drum sounds, just making them a little punchier, a little cleaner, and in some cases a little dirtier. But I'm probably going to get right back to that after this live. Well, I'll probably eat some dinner first, and then I'll get back to designing some more sounds for my kit. By the way, the kit's going to have 200 sounds, and it's going to have 20 sounds in each category. So 20 kicks, 20 snares, 20 claps, 20 808s, 20 synth basses, 20 samples, 20, 20, 20, 20. 10 different folders of 20 different sounds, and yeah, so 200 sounds for $30. But like I said, you guys won't be paying $30 for it. You'll be paying half that at most. All right, another one from Sapphire. Yeah, that track was absolutely fire, my dude. Again, definitely check out his YouTube page. He started literally like the same he started literally the same month that I started my YouTube channel. He actually has more subs than I do, so this guy's no joke. Definitely check him out. This next track, Sapphire, another SoundCloud link. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate links more than anything else, because that allows us to check out some more of your page if we need to or want to. But links are definitely what I appreciate the most. I know not to turn up the track when I'm listening to a Sapphire track.
What is it, a sapphire?
Yeah, 2020 vision. Yeah, I figured I'd go for 200 sounds with 20 sounds in each pack or each folder for 2020.
I'm high, I'm getting low, see the stars in the roof. Yeah, I'm fresh, nothing to prove. I'm here, so really it's a good year. She wanna get
It's very, very Juice WRLD for sure.
Then I broke her back down, then I pulled the tracks out, then I had to dash out, cause I had to cash out. Put so good, my did pass out.
The vocals were recorded really well.
Good, my did
I can tell.
pass out. Cash out, gotta
Nice
cash
mix.
out. Pussy nigga stand down, cause I ain't playing right. I can get you touched, I can get you buzzed. Please don't touch your luck, cause we ain't stopping stuff. Stay focused on myself, don't give a fuck about nobody else. You never show results, you were the one to trust. But when it was time to
The vocals definitely outshine the beat, though. I'd say that.
but it's
I love the
okay
vocals.
now. Get a young nigga in the bag now.
I'm gonna pay more attention to the lyrics now.
Nobody gonna tie down. Fuck that, who you? I'm high, I'm getting loose. See the stars in the roof. Yeah, I'm fresh, nothing to prove. I'm here, so really it's a good year. She wanna get high like 800 light years. Then I broke her back down. Then I pulled the tracks out. Then I had to dash out, cause I had to cash out.
Totally sounds like an Internet Money artist, but without the Internet Money production.
Good, my dear pass out. Yes, I did it, baby. I'm the best. Got the 40 on me with the vest.
Like, there's a heavy contrast between how clean the vocals are versus how dark the track is.
Don't want it 'cause we send your ass a rest. RIP, yeah, we left them on the stretch. Yeah, we left them on the stretch. I can never stress.
I like the choice of using a rim shot instead of a clap or a snare.
Why? I'm that guy. Oh, why? I'm that guy. All these niggas looking stressed by the chick, and they know I'm next. Yeah, they know I flex. Up on fuck that, who you? I'm high,
That was
I'm getting
dope.
low. See the stars in the roof. Yeah, I'm fresh, nothing to prove. I'm here, so really it's a good year.
I feel like those hi-hats could be a little louder too.
800 light years. Then I broke her back down. Then I pulled the tracks out. Then I had to dash out, cause I had to cash out. Put so good, my dear pass out. Put so good, my dear pass out.
I also like the decision that you made with the panning on the lead instrument that you have playing in the background. Because if you didn't have that panning going back and forth, the beat would sound really, really stagnant. So that was a really good decision because that actually filled up the space. So yeah, I like the track for sure. Like I said, those vocals were just absolutely fire. I'm actually dropping a video on Monday about what's the name of that website? I forget the name of the website, but you'll see it on Monday. But it's literally a website that allows you to test out 300 different microphones. And the examples that they have on there, one's like a female pop singer, and the other one, well, I know it's a female singer. I don't remember the genre, but it has a rapper on there too. But you could literally go in and test out different microphones on their vocals with their perfectly, recorded environment and all that. So you could really dig deep on listening to what mic would be best for your budget, because it has the specs of the mic, the pricing, and links to purchase that mic at those exact prices too. So, and it's all, I found out the hard way that they don't have mics like the SM7B, which is usually the mic that I recommend for rappers that are trying to record vocals at home. It's a dynamic microphone, but this website only uses large diaphragm condenser mics, which is again, that's actually what I recommend for singers and rappers if you could afford a mic at a certain range. But sure enough, when I was testing out these mics, man, there are definitely some good mics at affordable prices that you guys might be interested in if you ever decide to go in and record your own artists or decide to record yourselves. But yeah, let's move on. Where was I at? Right here. Yeah. This one's more chill. Oh, you shared it from WhatsApp, and that's why it has that title on it. I get it. Ooh, that tambourine hit is a little too loud, or at least a little too resonant. Yeah, that's really resonant. I would turn up the piano. Yeah, I would switch out that tambourine sound, or yeah, either switch it out or do an EQ sweep and take out, it's probably right around 7,000 hertz, 7K. What's up, David Treasure? Good to see you back in here. I feel like this track has a lot of potential because in my head I could hear all kinds of other melodies that you could lay on top of what's going on already. But at the same time, it leaves a lot of room for vocals and for an artist to kind of do their own thing on it. Yeah, hopefully you're able to hear that resonant frequency that's popping out on that tambourine hit, because it's really, really strong. Okay, you do hear what I'm talking about. Sapphire says that last beat, not that last beat, but the beat with the song that he sent, it was produced by him, and he made the singing beat for this dude. I wonder if he means this track that he just posted. Sacred. I probably need to turn up the kick. New wave. Let's find out. I like that sound already. The E piano. That's not even an E piano. That's I don't know, but it's gorgeous. Yeah, it is an E piano, electric piano. Samson says the beat is kind of dry with no effects. I'm not sure what else I should add, sample or drum wise. So I'm guessing this is going to loop. Just a breakdown right here would be nice. I would use that same, I don't know if that's you playing that instrument or if that's a sample that you use, but it would be nice if you had access to those keys and you just had a different breakdown right here where you just played a different melody. And that's, yeah, sometimes you don't need an additional instrument. You just need to change up the instrument that you have playing. It's a sample. Yeah, that's the one unfortunate thing about using samples. Yeah, unless you have like Melodyne DNA, you don't really have access to the notes. Not cleanly anyway. I know in Ableton you could take audio and turn it into MIDI, but it's much more of a hassle to do that because then you would have to resample each of these notes and then use that for your MIDI. DNA just allows you to literally use the audio as notes and move them around. Yeah, another Monster Productions is talking about the dump score to piano roll from Edison. You can also do that in Newtone, but it's not as accurate as Ableton's. Did you see the new update that FL Studio's dropping for 20.6? They're doing the this is another feature that Ableton has where so say you're playing an arpeggiator inside of a VST. There's a new feature where you're going to be able to burn all those MIDI notes into the piano roll. So then you'll actually have access to the ARP within the piano roll rather than, you know, normally you're playing just one chord or just one note and it plays an ARP for you, but you actually don't see those notes in the piano roll. Now you'll be able to actually see those notes and have access to them and change your ARPs within the piano roll. So that's going to be pretty neat. So that's going to be huge for people that are using plugins like Scalar or Captain Chords, where they literally they visually want to see what the plugin is doing. And then I feel like that's going to help out a lot of people in terms of learning not just music theory, but I mean, I've said this before, like the piano roll is its own instrument. Like when I go into the piano roll, like I'm a lot slower making beats in the piano roll because I don't really use it. I usually play my keyboard. So but you'll see guys like Nick Mira fly through that thing, or KBZ, he'll fly through that thing. So I really treat it like it's its own instrument. Like you can get better at it. There are skills involved with playing your beats within the piano roll. But I feel like that burn to MIDI feature is definitely going to be a huge advantage for FL Studio users here in the future. But like I said, Ableton they've had that feature for a while, apparently. I did not know that until people started talking about it, but yep, another game changer for sure. Another one from Sapphire. This one's called Drizzle. Let's check it out. David Treasure says, I have it, but never used Melodyne like that. That update is just perfect. Yeah, I know Melodyne comes with Studio One, but it's not the version that I'm talking about. Like you have to have, I think the full version of Melodyne, like Melodyne 4 DNA. Like I think that DNA option where you can move the audio is specifically in the full version of Melodyne. I think the one that comes inside of Studio One is just basic, like auto-tuning. You know what? Actually, I take that back. The DNA thing that I'm talking about is like, it'll take chords and it will break up each of those chords into individual audio notes, and you'll be able to move around the audio notes within Melodyne. So that's the difference between regular Melodyne and using the DNA feature. Like regular Melodyne is like basic auto tune where you can move around single pitches, but DNA actually goes into the music itself and breaks it up into basically like different stems, and you can manipulate even chords. It's crazy. It's probably the most advanced thing that I've seen in terms of audio manipulation. Audio manipulation in that realm for sure. And you are obsessed with the fade-ins. Okay, David Treasure just confirmed you could do it with the editor version.
Drizzle the sauce like a salad dressing. Got all the essentials, I need all the blessings. Who the best in the game, ain't no guess.
Yeah, already I can tell that these vocals weren't recorded as well. You can hear the proximity effect, which is basically like when you get too close to the mic, the vocals get really boomy. And that gets really hard or really difficult to EQ out without ruining or making the vocal too thin. So people tend to do this, where they kind of leave in that boominess. A good option for that would be something like a dynamic EQ. I actually have a video, I think that's dropping Wednesday of next week. I already recorded it and everything, but I go over dynamic EQ in that video. And I'm giving out, well, I'm not giving out, but I'm going to link you guys to a free dynamic EQ plugin. You guys could download it now. It's TDR Nova. Definitely check out TDR in general. I covered them in my my favorite free plugin companies video. They have top-notch, high-quality free plugins, and their plugins are literally, it's the same plugins as their paid plugins. They're just like, for example, the TDR, the free version, the TDR Nova dynamic EQ, it just has less bands. So you're still using literally the same quality of plugin. It's just a lesser version of it, if that makes sense. So definitely check out their plugins for sure if you're looking for plugins that are of higher quality than the stock plugins in FL Studio.
Miss around, we ain't messing. Y'all drizzle the sauce like a salad dressing. Got all these angels, I need all the blessings.
Sapphire says, so my knowledge of mixing and recording vocals wasn't very good. No, I mean, at the same time, the mixing might not be the issue at all. Especially after what I heard from the first track. I don't know if you got, I mentioned Graham Cochran in the last live. He owns recordingrevolution.com. He also has the YouTube channel Recording Revolution. And he dropped a video later on that day after I was talking about him, bringing up a really important point that I'm about to tell you right now, which is a lot of times it's not about the mixing. Like, for one, you have to have a good vocal performance. 2, you have to have a good vocal recording. 3, is the arrangement even good? And 4, is the song, like the lyrics, the actual songwriting, is that any good? The composition. So there's 4 huge things that actually matter a lot more than the mixing itself. And like I said, from that last track that I heard, your mixing is not the problem. It was just the recording. And honestly, probably the vocal performance. Like, the vocals sound kind of lazy the way that he laid them down. And I get that that's like one of the vibes that people do, but there's a way to do it and sound good at the same time. I feel like this one just sounds a little lazy. So I wouldn't, don't be hard on yourself about the mixing. I mean, there's only so much that you can do. Let's see. I missed some comments up here. That's another thing. When I start going live on the channel, on the other channel, I won't be able to read all the comments, but I try to do that when, you know, we just have 10 people in here. I should be reading all these comments. Yeah, David said he just found TDR Nova recently. It's amazing. Yeah, that's a crazy free plugin because I don't know of any dynamic EQs that are free other than TDR Nova. If there are, if there are others, definitely let me know in the comments for sure. I actually say that in that video as well, I think, where I point that out. Let's see. David Treasure says Nova is cool. I'm using Waves F6 right now. Yeah, Waves F6. That's their dynamic EQ, correct? What I was kind of disappointed on when I only own 2 Waves plugins. I bought Shep's Omnichannel, which is godly. That plugin is ridiculous. It's a little overkill, to be honest. Like, I don't need my beats to sound that good. But they had, and I also have, well, the other one I got free because Waves was doing a free sale or a free promotion for their H plugins. So I got their H comp for free. But I don't ever use it because it literally takes 30 seconds for it to load up on my version of FL Studio, or on my computer, I should say. So yeah, I don't ever use it. But I was really disappointed because they had this other equalizer, the Q10, which is perfect, but it just doesn't have that one feature, dynamic EQ. So still to this day, I feel like the best EQ in the world is FabFilter Pro Q3, which I do not have because I think that's like $200 or $100. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's a really expensive plugin, but for good reason. It has linear phase. It has all kinds of good stuff in it. Samson says, I'm looking to get a new synth VST. What should I check out? New synth VST. I'm about to pick up Synthmaster Pro 2.9. I have Synthmaster Player right now, and I make a lot of trap and urban beats. And compared to a lot of the other synths, like, you know, your Serums, your the Arturia stuff, like either stuff sounds way too vintage or stuff sounds way too clean. Like I need something right in between, and Synthmaster really sounds perfect. Like I said, I have Synthmaster Player right now, so they have like a cross grade where I could get the full version of Synthmaster for $60. So I'm definitely going to do that here soon. But the presets inside of Synthmaster Player are just, a lot of them I don't have to tweak at all. Like they just sound perfect to just throw in the beat. But yeah, if you're looking for something that sounds cleaner, definitely go with Serum. That's about the cleanest that you're probably going to get. If you're looking for something that sounds more analog, not that you can't make Serum sound analog, you absolutely can. But I feel like the Arturia synths are a lot easier than Serum. What's that? Analog Lab? Analog Lab 4 is actually a conglomerate of a lot of their synths all in one plugin, and it's only $100. So I think it's a really good bargain. They actually just had a sale where, well, actually the sale might have been for $100. Maybe it was like $150 or $200, but yeah, you could get it pretty cheap depending. Yeah, I agree, David. Serum is the best if you're wanting to get into sound design. It's just so yeah, the GUI for sure. Like it's just so easy to get around, and yeah, for sure. Another good wavetable synth would be there's a Arturia synth, Pigments. That one has a more analog feel to it in terms of the presets. But both of those are really CPU heavy too, so keep that in mind. Let's see, there's another one that just dropped from Kilohertz. I forget the name of it. But the thing that I don't like about that synth is that you really have to get like the full toolbox for it to really compare to the other synths. Jazzy Fox, what's up? When I began producing, I wanted all VST plugins. That after a while, it just ruined me. I'm minimal with synths now and more sampling from vinyl. Yeah, I don't use too many different plugins compared to what I used to do back in the day. Oh, and also Nexus 3 is dropping here soon. They just announced that a day or two ago. Another monster says, how do you keep track of all the new plugins? I watch, I pay attention to Plugin Boutique. They have all the best sales for sure. That's how I ended up getting Ozone Elements for free. Right now you could get Ozone, or not Ozone, Isotope Neutron. No, not Neutron. I got Neutron for free too. Neutron Elements for free. Yeah, KVR is another good site. Good call, Jazzy. Right now you could get Nectar for free with a purchase on Plugin Boutique. I'm hoping to get an affiliate link from Plugin Boutique because I talk about them way too much in my videos. Yeah, Nectar is a really good plugin for, it's mainly geared towards vocal mixing. So Sapphire, that might be something that you might be interested in. Let's go ahead and finish this beat. I went off on a huge tangent there.
Who the best in the game, ain't no guessing. With my homies around, we ain't messing. Yeah, gotta make the band.
What do I think of Spire?
Make it quick. I ain't waiting.
If you're doing EDM, Spire is a go-to synth for sure.
I ain't taking any hits.
A lot of those presets are like, you know, plug and play EDM for sure.
All of them hope, like Travis, I have the.
And it has a different sound to it than Serum.
You like a soft soap, snap like an elephant on a tightrope. Drizzle the sauce like a salad dressing.
BDR, what's up?
Got all the essentials, I need all the blessings. Who the best in the game, ain't no guessing. With my homies around, we
I feel like the kick sounds a little small in this.
Sauce like a salad dressing. Got all the essentials, I need
yeah,
all
the
blessings.
drums overall.
Who the best in the game, ain't no guessing. With my homies around, we ain't messing. Yeah, I'ma be a star, blow up near and far. Got a foreign car, leave a nasty scar.
Let me scroll
when
back
I draw
up
my
here.
fire lines, boy, you better run. I'll always be on the top, always number one. Get your attitude and throw it in the trash if you come.
Yeah, I like the
night,
first track with the artist much better for sure. But yeah, I would just say that the drums are a little low on here. But yeah, the recording was more of an issue than anything else. BDR says, I use the old Massive and things that came in Complete 8. Not a lot of software for hip-hop. You just have to make whatever you have work. Totally agree with that, for sure. Yeah, back when I first started making beats heavy in FL Studio, I had a Phantom X. So I sound designed everything in the Phantom, and then I would export those as samples, and then I basically just sampled myself in FL Studio. So I didn't have any plugins. Jazzy said, you said you make trap and such. What kind? More the spacey trap, or more like floor seats? ASAP Ferg. Oh, I get what you're saying with floor seats. You know, I want to get more into like, you know, who has a perfect combination of both of those? Travis Scott, because he'll have the spacey type trap and he'll have like the floor seats type trap where like people are going nuts. But yeah, I'm trying to get more into that side. Yeah, I'm a huge Travis Scott fan for sure. And because he's heavy into sound design too. And that's really how I feel like he stands out from everyone else. Like, I know he works heavy with dope synths and really good producers and engineers. And for some reason, I can't name them off the top of my head right now, and that's kind of embarrassing because they're even bigger than Travis Scott. Freak. I can't remember oh boy's name. That's really embarrassing. But yeah, let's move on. I sent a newer rap song of mine. I rapped in Finnish, but the vocals are way better. Okay, dope. We'll check that out. Just sent a new one. Jazzy says true. And the crazy engineered effects. Yeah, I actually have a bank of vocal. Mike Dean, yeah. God damn it. I kept saying Mike over and over in my head, but yeah. Every time I said Mike, I was like, Mike Will. It's not freaking Mike Will. Yeah, Mike Dean. Thank you, Saucy. Yeah, Mike Dean is a monster. And like, man, just check out any video with Mike Dean in it. I just like listening to that guy talk. If you see a video with him in a room full of synths, like just watching him go to town on different synths is just, it's like watching God playing around on the playground. Yeah, those crazy engineered effects. I have a vocal pack that is definitely heavily influenced by Travis Scott's vocals, but it's just those really filtered down vocals and different like yells and screams, and it's a dope pack, but I need to start using those a lot more often for sure. All right, Saucy says, ooh, man, we are getting some submissions in here. Let me move along a little faster. We've been live for an hour and a half. Looks like this one's definitely going to go to the 2-hour mark. Google Drive. And like I said, I don't mind downloading from Google Drive if we have to, but it looks like this is going to play just fine, which is awesome. Awesome. Saucy, this is Saucy. I hope that kick hits. Okay, you got the 808. Levels are perfect right now. I just hope that a kick comes in over this 808. With some slight distortion. I hope that's not the kick playing with the 808 right now. Because it literally sounds like it's just an 808 with a nice little attack, which is cool. But man, I could already hear like what a nice... There's the kick. Yeah. I would say it came in a little late, but thank God it came in. Yep, the usual synth bass switch up. I do that in every beat. It's really rare that I'll have a beat where it's just an 808 or just a synth bass. It just gives you so much more options in terms of the arrangement. Man, you guys are gonna love the synth basses that I made for you guys in my pack. 20 synth basses that are just nuts. They are absolutely nuts. Yeah, good use of reverb. You got a nice stereo field over the entire track. This is nice and clean. Everything has its own space. The painting's right. You got the hi-hats on the left, the right on the right. And your hi-hat rolls aren't overbearing. Just nice little light hi-hat rolls, nothing crazy. I would say just turn the synth bass up just a little bit. Maybe 2 dB. But yeah, I love that track. Real nice, real nice. That was fire. I don't think you've submitted any tracks that I didn't like, Saucy. There's a few of you in here that always submit tracks that I like, so. Yeah, I like that. Well, I definitely could see why you named it Nitty Gritty. With the crunch on that snare. And another one from WhatsApp. Yeah, that happens a lot on Takid's tracks. Like, you'll start hearing something, and then it'll switch up. That was FL Keys? That's crazy. You did some processing on that. That is nuts. I like this vibe. I have so... Oh my god, this is so funny. I'm watching this commercial on my TV on my left, and it's perfectly in beat. It has like all these dancers. Oh my god, this is so crazy. I wish I could show you guys this. This looks hilarious. That was Pitbull. If you guys get a chance and you see the Pitbull commercial for Boost Mobile, that was playing perfectly in sync with this beat. That was so wild. That was so wild. I wish I could have shown you guys that. Kid said it was only stock. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to listen to that piano again. Yeah, this is nice and clean, good panning, nice stereo feel. Good work with the percussive elements for sure. Little halftime switch up. Z-Beat says, I'm honored. You're the one that made the beat. Yeah, see, David Treasure hears exactly what I'm saying too. He's like, how did he get FL keys to sound like that? Yeah, I love that track. That was fire. Yeah, I know Z-Beats. Z-Beats is like, I'm not here. I know that. It's a kid. I gotta listen to that piano again. Yeah, that sounds like you have like RC20 on there. It actually sounds like you have RX 950 on there. That's a it's a how do I describe it? It's based off of the SX 950, which was some hardware, and you could do like downsampling in it. But it sounds like it was ran through some hardware, for sure. BDR says your stream is pretty smooth. Are you on fiber optic? Good question. I believe so, actually. I believe so. Yeah, I was living in Louisiana before I just moved up here to Michigan, and we were using AT&T, and it was horrible. Like, there would be days where I couldn't even upload to YouTube. But as soon as I moved here, those same length videos, like what used to take me hours, maybe a day sometimes, it uploads as if I was downloading an MP3 off of Facebook or something. Like, it uploads in seconds. Like, it literally doesn't take a minute. So yeah, I definitely think I'm running on fiber optic over here. I know it's a really high internet speed for sure. It's definitely a huge blessing for my line of work. And it wasn't always like that. I would just have days where like the internet was just horrible. But on average, like a 12-minute YouTube video would take anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour to upload. But here I can upload like a 20-minute video and it'll take not even 1 minute. So the internet here is definitely crazy. I just need a better webcam because I have a huge delay on my webcam.
En oo 16, en oo 18. Vikaa vuotta metsi maailmaa vastaan kapinoi. Paljon menoo, hitosti meininki. En adult, en teen. Metsissä en tyyn.
Oh, where's the kick? It literally sounds like someone's like smacking a pillow. Gotta switch that kick out completely, I'd say. I like that layered demon effect that you have for your dubs on the vocals. Yeah, it's very tasteful because it's not like throughout the whole entire vocal, it just comes in to highlight the vocal every once in a while. You know, it would be really cool if you did that with every word that you rhymed. Like right there, like at the end of a bar. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, this is a much better recording, much better performance than the last guy. But that tends to happen when you're recording yourself. The song's called 17. What's the song about? Oh, good idea, David. Another Monster Production says should add some delay or ad-libs on those vocals during the space in the hook. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. If you fill in those gaps, those spaces in the hook with some delays or ad-libs, man, that'd be fire. Like, it's begging for it. Yeah, that was a good call. He goes on to say you do really cool filter delay effect with Fruity Delay 3. Or you can do, yeah. Yep. That's the whole point of Fruity Delay 3, actually. Because basically without that, it's actually just Fruity Delay 2. Yeah, that is definitely the key with Delay 3. You have another video that I'm going to drop towards the beginning of next year called 21 things that I want in FL Studio 21 or whatever they decide to call it. But a new EQ and just updated plugins in general is definitely one of the things that I'll be talking about. One of the many things that I'll be talking about. Man, I keep forgetting Sapphire. Sapphire says the song actually is about a teenager who complains about being 17. He feels like he isn't a teen, neither an adult. I love that concept because that is the truth about being 17, right? What's the legal drinking age in Finland? And what's the age that you guys are allowed to vote? Yeah, 18 is a big deal here in the US, even though our drinking age is 21. But like, I think for the most part, most US citizens feel like, hey, I'm 18. That's when I start, adulthood, really. So that age of 17, you still kind of feel like a kid, but you're not. And yeah, you're in that weird transition phase. I was actually in college when I turned 17 for like a week. So yeah, I have a late or a really, my birthday is like in that in-between time where most people are like 18 or 19, depending. I'm on the younger side for my year. In Finland, you have something new for almost every age of the year. Like at 16, you get to ride a moped, and at 18, you get to drink. Yeah, I was thinking 18 was drink and vote in Finland. And drive a car. Yeah, I was lucky because I grew up in a time where you're able to drive a car at the age of 15 in Illinois. I grew up mostly in Illinois. So I started driving when I was 15. And then when I moved to Virginia, that changed right after I graduated from high school to 18. So yeah, in some places it's 18, other places it's 16. That's the glorious thing about the United States. Each state has its own laws, so it's like many countries. I first drank and went out when I was 13. 10 days later, 14. It was my best friend's birthday. That's crazy. I had my first drink of alcohol with a bunch of relatives when I was living in, not St. Louis, but Illinois at the time, right next to St. Louis. That's the home of Anheuser-Busch. I'm sure everyone knows Anheuser-Busch. They actually just got bought out by InBev, which is, Jesus, I keep forgetting. Yeah, Sapphire, you might know what InBev is. But they're a European alcohol company. But when I was 12, we went on a Anheuser-Busch tour because St. Louis is actually the home of Anheuser-Busch. And my relatives let me drink some Bud Ice. And that kept me from drinking all the way until I was 20 or 21. Yeah, 20. Yeah. It just tasted horrible to me. David, another Monster Production, says, I thought most places in Europe was 16 drinking age. That's a good question. Yeah, I know in Spain it's 16. I'm not sure about England. Anyone know if England is 16 as well? I believe England might be 16. Yeah, it all just depends on the country for sure. But I think you are right about most places in Europe is 16, though. I think that is correct. The song came about when me and my friends were talking about being 17 and how it's the most useless year of your life. I think I've had that same exact conversation when I was 17. Okay, it used to be 16 in the Netherlands, but I'm not sure if it is now anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it should be 18 in the US. For sure, 16 is too early for Americans. just based on our behavior. But at the same time, based on our behavior, 21 is too late. So I feel like we lose a lot of time to mature and a lot of experiences that we should already have by the age of 21. I feel like if it was 18, you would have a lot more, you would just build up a lot more responsibility by the age of 18. And plus we have, soldiers that go into the military at the age of 18. We have people voting at the age of 18. I feel like if we're doing all that, they need to have the full adult experience by then. So just an opinion that I think most Americans share. I know David does. But yeah, I think that's the common consensus for most Americans, that our ages for drinking is a little off. Let's see. Jazzy Fox found this Italio house sample. Mixed it today. Don't ask me why I was listening and searching for something in there. But yeah, still early. It's in early phase. Okay, let's check it out. I'm not very familiar with Italio house, or Italian house. Dude, we're about to enter the Matrix right now. This is the elevator lobby scene. This is dope. I bought that album, the Matrix soundtrack. That's like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Dude, you need to... Oh, you said that this is a sample, though. Man, I was going to say, like, if this wasn't a sample, if you had made this, you definitely need to submit this to TV and film. Like, for sure this would get placed. For sure, without a doubt, it would get placed. In a heartbeat. You would definitely make some money off of this track.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mix.
Man, this is fire, dude. Yeah, you're saying it's in its early phase, but you really do like it? Yeah, I agree. I really like it even though it's in its early phase. I feel like it's a finished track, personally. Yeah, it's a kid. Fire starter, a cop chasing a criminal. Yeah, this matches so many scenes. So many scenes. Man, this goes. Perfect breakdowns. A lot of variation where you can chop this up and use it in different spots. Ocean's 11. Good call. Good call on that. Dude, I don't think I've ever heard a track that sounded so ready to be in a movie or in a TV show. Like, that was crazy. Like, that's like a music supervisor's dream right there. Just to have that in their back pocket to just throw in on a random scene. Like, that just works in so many different places. So many different places. All right, let's go to your next one. A lot of times I go to the next beat quickly. Still need to finish this one. Yeah, good job, Jazzy. Dude, I feel like it wouldn't be too difficult to recreate that track. Like, even though it's a sample, like, I'm assuming all those drums are you. The synths in there sound like they would be really easy for you to just remake and just, not use a sample. But I mean, just let me know if that's the case. BDR says, who's that being obnoxious on Twitch? What do you mean? Yeah, you're really good at your drums, just keeping them nice and clean. And like you said you do a lot of EQing and cutting. Yeah, I can definitely hear that. Oh, you're talking about the America? I only saw it once. I didn't see it spammed. Oh, man. I used to hate it when, man, my Facebook was just full of the whole America thing. I was like, and from Americans that were proud to say it. I'm just like, get the hell out of here. I have a lot of friends that are like really country, like a lot of hunters and stuff, and even they're not like into that. But Facebook, man, it brings like the worst out of people sometimes. Donuts5 on YouTube, he asked, do you know how I can get, for example, just the kick from the drum kit 01 into the piano roll? I don't have a MIDI or anything like that, just my laptop. Oh, you're talking about in Iota Mini. Yes, sample it with Edison and drag the sample into your channel rack. Done. All right, Talk Kid. Oh, that reminds me. One other thing that I'm gonna do. Yeah, David was saying that was referencing the drinking age. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna have 20 samples and sample loops in my drum kit. So I think I'm gonna have a contest where I don't know what you guys are gonna win yet, but you're definitely gonna win something. But whoever flips any of those samples the best, I'm gonna have like a beat battle between you guys. But again, that'll be after I launch the live videos on the other channel. So you guys are gonna have a lot more competition than just the people that have been coming in here. So keep that in mind. Keep your producer hats on and think about what you guys can do to win that competition. I'll actually have a set of guidelines to help you guys win that competition in terms of what I'm going to be looking for, in terms of flipping the sample and making it unique and coming up with a good track. So just something to look forward to, because that's actually going to be something that I want to do weekly, where it's not just beat critiques every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to have a beat critique one day, do a beat battle on Wednesdays, and then on Fridays maybe do do a show where I flip something of yours, or I fix one of your beats, or, you know, something like that. So we'll have a lot more variety coming up here soon. David Treasure says, what brass do you recommend besides Contact? Philharmonic 2. Philharmonic 2. Yeah, outside of that, you're not really going to find too much brass that really compares to Contact. Unless you want to spend a whole bunch of money on Spitfire Labs. In fact, I would say Spitfire Labs, right now, they have the best sample packs in terms of orchestral instruments that were ever made. And that's comparing them to any Contact library. That's comparing them to any VST or plugin. And the reason I say that is because they recently acquired, I don't know if you guys are really heavy into film composition, but hopefully you guys know who Hans Zimmer is. He basically is famous for tracks like the main theme in Inception, The Dark Knight, Interstellar. But yeah, when he started on those projects, he created a sample library where he went in and recorded huge orchestras and turned them completely into samples and used that to compose all of his music. So these are the most detailed sample libraries that ever existed. The biggest files, all of that. And Spitfire Labs now owns those sample libraries. So they actually had those on sale, but they're more expensive than Omnisphere. Like some of these are like $1,000. But yeah, those are the most lush sample libraries that you'll ever get your hands on. BDR says, first stream I've seen of yours showed up in my recommendations. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I don't advertise this channel at all except for on my main channel, and like I do like a little like I'll tweet something out every time I go live, and then I guess my Facebook group. But other than that, like I do like, actually I'll show you guys right here. Yeah, I didn't mention this to you, David. Another Monster Productions. This is another way that I advertise without doing the YouTube stories. But you'll see that the engagement is super, super low. So that's why I didn't even mention it. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post this. Actually, I do this on Instagram stories too. I'll post a live beat critique tonight at 5, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then I have the link to my YouTube and my Discord. But yeah, you just do this by going into the community tab. Every once in a while I'll blow up on here where it'll be a lot more comments and a lot more likes, but for the most part it stays pretty sparse on here. It really depends what you're talking about, like this one and this one. But yeah, overall, there's not a whole lot of engagement on there compared to what I've seen with YouTube stories. But yeah, so it's awesome that you had this in your recommendations. That's badass. All right, Nadir Z. Jazzy says, my favorite composers are Vangelis, Hansi, John Williams, and Ennio Morricone. I'm not very familiar with those names. What did Hansi do? And John Williams. I feel like those two names are familiar. Feeling the vibe here. I feel like everything's like really condensed. Oh yeah, good call. Oh, John Williams did Star Wars. Okay. Oh, Good, Bad, and Ugly from Ennio. Yeah, good call, BDR. East West. Yeah, they're definitely known for their orchestral sounds for sure. Oh, that reminds me of another company. They're the ones that make UVI Falcon. Yeah, UVI. They have. I don't know if you guys know who Tone Jones is, but he works mainly with UVI plugins. But they have libraries that definitely rival Contact for sure. And I would say they sound better than East West just because of what BDR says about those libraries being a little dated. But they sound crazy good still. But yeah, compared to Spitfire libraries and UVI, those are just a lot more modern. Check out I can't remember his Alex Makula. Yeah, he is by far the best YouTuber to watch for yeah, I like the track. Before I say that, I like the track. I just feel like it's a little condensed. I want like a little more, like, I know the piano was like on the right, but I just felt like everything was it felt a little mono to me. But I like the composition. I liked the idea of the track for sure. But what I was saying, Alex Makula, he actually just dropped a track on his YouTube like 2 weeks ago where he redid the whole entire Final Fantasy battle theme, and it literally sounds better than the original Final Fantasy battle theme. Like, it's crazy. David Treasure asks, is East West expensive? I believe they are kind of up there in price as well, but not as expensive as Spitfire Audio. Yeah, exactly, BDR. Not as expensive as the modern libraries. And yeah, that too, you got to keep that in mind. The Spitfire sounds are big in file size and a lot more intensive. So if you don't have the right hard drive space, definitely pay attention to the size of these libraries. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to the next track. YouTube. But yeah, definitely check out Alex Makula. You'll definitely learn a lot more about the right plugins to use, composition. He goes into a lot of detail. He also has a course that I definitely want to take at some point, and I don't think it's too expensive. Did I play this track? But it just sounds like that you ran FL keys through some sort of processing, though. I just have no idea. Let's see. Yeah. Do I make film music myself? No, that's why I want to take his course so I can get heavier into it. It's actually something that I used to want to do when I was a lot younger, before I even knew about making beats or whatever. I just thought that would be the coolest job in the world, to just compose music to movies. To Kid, are you talking about Isotope vinyl? Twins Mega Mix Plus. The Twins. Oh, okay. This is the track that you sampled. Oh yeah, that is what you said.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Twins Mega Mix.
I gotcha. So you just layered the drums. That's what you were saying earlier about the snare and the kick. Okay. Avitas says, how would you listen to, or how would you list the track's volume leveling wise from loudest to quietest, like kick one? Avitas, hop into the Discord and click on tips and tricks. There's a list there for you already that I recommend in terms of a general guideline, a ballpark range of where you can start your leveling. And it's very specific dBs, and then you could just adjust from there. That's what I recommend for sure. But yeah, I'll actually show you what it looks like. Just hop in the Discord, go to tips and tricks, and here's a list of all kinds of sounds and different levels that you could just start your mix at, and then just adjust from there depending on your frequencies and your genre. Takid says, and that was posted by Rafael from Brazil. I'll play his track at the end of the Discord so you can hear what result that gave him. Takid says, just finished the logo for Simo. I was just about to ask you that too. If you ended up doing anything for Simo at all. That would be dope if you're able to post it in the self-promo section and say that, hey, I make logos. This is what I did for Simo. If anyone needs a logo, let me know. I might try and get you to do the artwork for my drum kit. Let me show you what the artwork looks like right now. Right now it's highly illegal, so I can't use it. But it was just something that I was messing around with just to get an idea of what I want to do. But Takid, definitely post that in the self-promo. You definitely need to get your graphic design out there because you are killer at it. And that goes for any of you guys. If you have anything music-wise, whatever your side hustle is, I don't care. Post it in the self-promo section. But yeah, this is InflightMuzik 2020 drum kit. So I'm going for that retro futurism feel. But yeah, I can't use this artwork because I just downloaded this off of Google. But yeah, if you feel like that you can make something that has the vibe of retro futurism, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I might just be using this for like a month or two until I find something or someone to make my artwork, and I'll just replace it later on down the road. But yeah, just a quick preview of what that will look, well, what that might look like, what it could look like. All right, I think we are at our final track of the day. It's called Barbie, 136 BPM in B minor from Sapphire. Yeah, 2 hours, 15 minutes. It's about as long as I want to go for the day. Yeah, definitely just think on it. Definitely don't, it's not a requirement, obviously. Don't feel pressured. Yeah, I would say like pretty much the same critique that I had with the last tracks. I know that you're more melody driven for sure, but just overall, I just feel like the drums tend to be a little low compared to the melodies. Nice breakdown. It's a good change up. Oh yeah, and I'll play that track from Raphael here at the end so that you can hear the leveling. In fact, let me scroll up so we can just transition directly into it, and then we'll call it a night. It's way up here. Okay, so this track right here is the track with these leveling numbers. And also keep in mind that this is literally the second track that he's ever made, but he is he plays piano, so that's where the level of composition is coming from. And then I think he just got really good advice in terms of mixing, which is something that I talked about at the top of the show. Like nowadays, it's really easy to improve your mixing and things like that because of the state of how much information that's out there for anyone that's getting started. So hopefully this encourages people instead of discouraging them. Just because your mix isn't this good yet or your compositions aren't this good yet, you definitely can get good really fast if you just spend the time to do it. Yeah, Vitus, these are the levels that he posted. You'll notice the really good use of reverb, so it adds a nice atmosphere to his drum hits, the hi-hats, and the bells, the keys. And again, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Hopefully, I will see you guys in the next one on Monday.